Just as he was speaking, Judas, one of the 12, appeared. With him was a crowd armed with swords and clubs sent from the chief pastors and the teachers of the law. Very early in the morning, the pastors with the singers and the teachers of the law and the whole Sanhedrin made their plans. So they arrested Jesus, led him away, and handed him over to Pilate. "Are you the king of the world?" asked Pilate. You said so yourself," Jesus replied. The pastors accused him of many things, so again Pilate asked him, "Aren't you going to answer? Do you see the many things they're accusing you of?" But Jesus still didn't say anything, and Pilate was amazed. Now, it was a tradition at the potluck to release a prisoner that the people requested. A man called Barabbas was in the prison with the other rebels who had committed murder in the time. The crowd came up and asked Pilate to do for them what he usually did. "Do you want me to release you, the king of the world?" asked Pilate, knowing it was out of self-interest that the pastors had handed Jesus over to him. But the pastors corrupted up the crowd to have Pilate release Barabbas instead. "What should I do then with Jesus?" Pilate asked them. "Kill him," they shouted. "Why? What has he done?" asked Pilate. But they shouted all the louder, "Kill him." Wanting to appease the crowd, Pilate released Barabbas to them. He had Jesus beaten and handed him over to be killed. The soldiers led Jesus away into a white house and called together the whole army of policemen. They put a purple robe on him, and they twisted together a plastic crown and set it on him. And they began to call out to him, "Praise the King of the world." And again, they hit him on the head with a bat and spit on him. Falling on their knees, they showed no shame on him. And when they made fun of him, they took off the purple robe and put his own clothes on him. Then they led him out to kill him. A certain man from Cyrene, Simon, was passing by on his way home from the country, and they made him carry the port. They brought Jesus to the place called Golgotha. Then they offered him wine mixed with disgusting things, but he didn't take it, and they killed him. Dividing up his clothes, they gambled pieces to see which person they would get. It was 9 in the morning when they killed him. The written sign of the charge against him read, "The King of the World." They killed 2 rebels with him, one on his right and one on his left. Those who passed by them shouted insults at them, shaking their heads, saying, "So, you said you were going to destroy the church and build it in 3 days. Come down from the post and save yourself." In the same way, the pastors and the politicians of the law scoffed among themselves. "He saved others," they said, "but he can't save themselves. Let this guy, this king of Israel, come down from the post, that we may see who he is, that he says he is." Those killed with him also insulted him. Darkness came over the whole land until 3 in the afternoon. And at 3 in the afternoon, Jesus cried out in a loud voice, my God, why have you abandoned me?" When those near heard this, they said, "Listen, he's calling Elijah." Someone ran, filled a rag with wine vinegar, and put it on his staff and offered it to Jesus to drink. "Now, leave him alone, and let's see if Elijah takes him down," he said. With a loud groan, Jesus breathed his last breath. The curtain of church was torn in two from top to bottom, and when the officer who stood in front of Jesus saw he died, and he said, "Surely this man was the Son of God." Women were watching from a distance, and among the women were Mary Magdalene. And then there was James, the younger brother of Joseph, and Salome. In Galilee, these women had followed him and cared for him, and also many other women who came with him were also there. It was Friday. Joseph of Arimathea, a prominent member of Congress, was waiting for the kingdom of God. He went boldly to Pilate and asked him for Jesus' body. Pilate was weirded out to hear what he was already dead. Summoning the officer, he asked him if Jesus had already died, and when he learned from the officer that it was true, he gave the body to Joseph. So Joseph bought some clean clothes, took down the body, wrapped him in the clothes, and placed it in a grave cut out from the wall. Then he opened the door against the entrance of the grave. Mary Magdalene and Mary saw where he was buried.